And thank you everybody for attending. I'm super excited because today we're launching a new program here at Venture Café Philadelphia. So super excited for you all to be joining us and be making some history with us today. So thank you again. Um, if my dog in the background becomes a little bit noisy, please let me know and I'll be sure to like throw his bone like all the way across my apartment. All right, that being said, today we are kicking off OnRamp, which is a new entrepreneurship program here at Venture Café Philadelphia. Quick rundown of what we're going to discuss today. First, I'm going to share a little bit about Venture Café Philadelphia, what we're all about, what our community credo is for anybody who's new and maybe hasn't attended one of our Thursday gatherings before. Then we're going to jump into sharing a little bit about our goal and outline of our new OnRamp program. We're going to discuss some potential topics of focus. So please be ready to contribute your ideas and share a little bit about who you are and what you're working on so that we truly make this a program that best serves you all as entrepreneurs in our community. We're going to talk about sort of some upcoming sessions so you see what we have planned for the next month or so. And then just at the end, again, would love to check in with everybody and we're going to transition to a panel discussion on the future of Philly tech startups. So really full program, power-packed evening. Thank you all again. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump into it. Venture Café Philadelphia, what are we all about? Well, we connect innovators and entrepreneurs with high-impact programming and events, hence why you are all here today. We create intentional spaces for individuals and organizations to gather, connect, and build relationships. And our free and inclusive Thursday gatherings occur every week from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. That is right, every single week, 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. So if your friends are not here today, please be sure to let them know. If they missed it, they can join us again next week. We'll be right here, same time, same place. None of this is possible without our phenomenal all-star team. So shout out to Natalie, shout out to Angela, shout out to Emily, and shout out to Tracy. Hopefully you all get a chance just to hear from them a little bit later on as well. But we are all here to support you all as founders in our ecosystem. So definitely wanted to lay some ground rules. So if you are new, yes, we do have a community credo. So we expect all of our Venture Cafe attendees to abide by this credo every single week, just to make sure that we create an awesome experience for our entire community. So to run through them very quickly, we have plenty of things you can do, and really only one thing that we would prefer that you did not do, okay? So you should absolutely make yourself at home. This is your community. This programming is for you. It's all about you. And we want to make sure that you know that and believe that every single Thursday. You are absolutely expected to contribute in a positive way that creates a safe and respectful community. We have a really diverse community, many different views, different backgrounds, and you all matter. So we want to make sure that you all respect each other and your various and differing opinions throughout our journey together. You should become an active participant in our experiment. So again, this is all about you. So we can only know, what you need help with if you let us know what you need help with. If there are resources you're looking for, if there's people you'd like to connect to, please let us know, and we're absolutely willing to help. All of our programming, as you will come to learn if you don't know already, is designed to meet your specific needs. You should attend every Thursday with a mind of inquiry. One of the things I've learned since being on the team is that, if you think you know everything about a certain subject, you absolutely do not. And you can learn something new every single week in all of our different sessions that we have. So we just ask that you go into every session with an open mind, be curious, ask questions, and there's never a time where people are going to make fun of you for not knowing something. That's especially one of the reasons why we're launching this new program today, is to make sure that everyone in our community has access and information and truly understands what resources are available to them. Again, you're part of the community, so please help us build it. Be respectful and responsible again, foster inclusivity, And our don't is don't hard sell. So you may come to see that we do a lot of like pitching and talking about like who we are and what we do. All of you are doing amazing things in the community, and we just ask that you share what you do without hard selling, meaning you shouldn't be pitching us to be customers of your product or your service, but more so sharing your knowledge and expertise with our community here. And what you do, outside of Venture Cafe and our Thursday gatherings is totally up to you. All right, so the reason why we're all here today is because we are kicking off OnRamp, our new entrepreneurship series, which I'm super excited about because just a little bit about me. I joined the Venture Cafe team back in July of 2020. So not that long ago, but also feels like 100 years ago. But before that, I was a Venture Cafe regular. So being an early stage startup founder, Venture Cafe was one of those places I knew I could attend to connect with the community, to learn what resources were out there, and just position myself for success with my venture. So that's what we're doing here today. OnRamp is just a new initiative to double down on that effort and make sure that we're truly building a strong and robust startup ecosystem. One of the main pillars of this new program is access. So we want to make sure that you all have access to people. I'm going to need to take this toy. I apologize. And it's gone. All right, so access to people, access to information, and access to resources. We want to make sure that we are building a community where you feel supported, you have an opportunity to support other people, you have access to mentorship, and you have space to collaborate. So, everybody here, again, has a really diverse background, from various industries, various levels of expertise, but you all can share with one another to make sure that we support each other so that our ecosystem is as strong and supportive as possible. And then lastly, it's education. So we're going to be covering a lot of sort of fundamentals in different areas, and then also just educating you about the opportunities that are out there as well. I don't have like any kids, so like I imagine this is what it's like to have kids and be on a Zoom call, and my dog is like fighting me. I want y'all to see it just so you know how real it is. But it's gone. The toy is gone. All right. So what should you expect with OnRamp programming? You should expect info sessions. You should expect office hours, pitch practice, and much more. So when I say info sessions, that means we have a wide variety of accelerators, of pitch competitions, of incubators, of various resources for startup founders and small business owners that the greater Philadelphia area has to offer. And we're going to be inviting individuals who run those programs, facilitate those programs, have those resources to come in and share with you all about how to get involved and to make sure that you have access to everything that's available out there. We're also going to be hosting office hours. So we have some awesome people like Carolyn here, who's already one of our awesome office hours hosts, as well as Tanya Mars. And I'm sure we have others here. But we want to make sure that we create a space where we can set up essentially breakout rooms, and you all know who's going to be hosting office hours that day. And previously, before the session starts, you can sign up for office hours. And then if there are any open slots after we kick off the session, you'll be able to jump in for walk-ins as well. So we're going to be super creative with that, but trying to sort of recreate that feeling of being back in our physical location at 3675 Market Street. But again, the main purpose is to support you all and your startups. All right. So to give you a little taste of what we have in store right now, on January 28th, we're going to be hosting a Startup 302 info session. So Startup 302 is an upcoming pitch competition being hosted by an organization based out of Delaware. And it's a pitch competition with $150,000 in prizes for underrepresented founders. So that is an opportunity we absolutely want our community to take advantage of. And the Startup 302 team is going to be joining us during next week's OnRamp session here at Venture Cafe. And then we're going to have sort of a pitch practice and pitch 101 following that. So you will have no excuse not to apply to the competition and no excuse to say, oh, I wasn't ready to prepare for the competition. We are going to get you ready. That is the point of OnRamp. So then January is going to be over, which is kind of crazy because I feel like it just started. But we're going to be in February, which is Black History Month. So we've got some really awesome things lined up for the month of February, which includes a Black Innovation Spotlight, where we have about a dozen Black entrepreneurs, investors, and resource providers who are going to be providing lightning talks, sort of sharing who they are, what they do, so that the community knows about them, and then we can sort of rally behind them to make sure that they're supported as well. And then that's going to transition into a panel discussion on Philadelphia's equitable recovery. On February 11th, we're going to have a Lean Startup 101 discussion and roundtable where we're going to break down the basics of building a startup, from the ground up with maybe minimal resources or making the most of the resources that you have at hand. Talking about how to, test your ideas, launch a minimum viable product, and all that kind of good stuff. The following week, we're going to have a pre-competition pitch practice, which is for the last week of February, which is our Black Futures pitch competition. So we'll be hosting a $10,000 pitch competition for Black startup founders to sort of close out Black History Month. If you're interested in that, I'll add the link in the chat for our interest form, but applications for that are going to open up next week. All right, so this is a very long and obnoxious list. That is because we understand that as entrepreneurs, you all have a lot of different things that you need help with, right? There are a lot of things you need to do. For some people, you might be a solo founder and you're doing a lot of these things yourself. We want to make sure that OnRamp is that place that you can go to learn the basics about building your startup, right? What are all the things that you need to cover? What are all the things that maybe, your team is lacking? Like what areas are you not thinking of right now that you're definitely going to need to start thinking of to build a successful company? We're going to be inviting individuals who are experts in these various areas to come in and share their knowledge to make sure that you all are successful. So if you could just briefly skim over the list, this is not an exhaustive list, but these are many of the different things that you're going to want to think of and many of the different things that we're going to cover in the weeks and months ahead. But we're going to come back to this a little bit later. So if you have an idea of something that's maybe not on this list, we definitely love for you to share that with us so that we make sure we're covering the things that matter most to you. All right, that is my spiel. That is OnRamp. OnRamp is not a final product. We are building it along the way. So we need your help to do that and to be successful. So I'm gonna kick off this next portion of things, but basically we would love to sort of go around the room and have everyone introduce themselves and share what success looks like for you as it relates to either your startup, your organization, any company you're a part of, or just you personally. But again, the purpose of this is to understand how we can best support you and make sure that you succeed. All right, so hello everyone. I'm Garry. I am the entrepreneurial program manager at Venture Café Philadelphia. I have experience working on early stage startups, and I have both lost a bunch of pitch competitions. I've won a couple pitch competitions, and I really enjoy supporting entrepreneurs, helping them think through creative ideas and get those ideas off the ground. So success for me looks like, OnRamp, again, being that place where everybody knows they can show up to every single Thursday from 5 to 7. And regardless of what stage they're at, what industry they're in, they can be supported and they can support their community as well. All right, so I'm gonna ask if everyone could give a quick 30-second intro and what success looks like for you. Emily, can I ask you to go next?
Yes. So hi everyone. For those of you who I haven't had the chance to meet yet, I'm Emily Meltzer. I'm a program associate with Venture Café Philadelphia. Like Garry, I am relatively new to the team. I joined back in June. What does success look like to me? I think success is a healthy balance of security and innovation. So kind of having that foundation and stability in, whether that's your company values, but then also looking to innovate and always looking ahead, I would say.
Sweet, thank you, Emily. All right, I'm just gonna call on people. I think that is the best way to do this. So I'm gonna go to Aaron next. Aaron, would you mind introducing yourself to the group, please?
So hi, I'm Mr. Rosta. I'm the Vice President of Commercialization and New Ventures. I've only been saying that for a month, so I'm not used to saying it yet. And success for me looks like we create an environment where we learn about what our community needs and learn about sort of where our community's at. I think everybody sort of has an opinion about where we speak to entrepreneurs, but it would be nice to get some real data on whether we need to address earlier concerns or later concerns, or where the real deficiencies in our community lie. So I'd like to learn about that. And I think this is a great forum for that to happen.
Thank you, Aaron. I'm gonna go to Bill next. It's good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, good to see you. Hi, I'm a PhD student in English at the University of Delaware. My current interest is the applicability of literary methods to business communication, particularly leadership communication. So success for me, because I'm just at the beginning of my program, is right now just continuing to think that through and learning from others, particularly about entrepreneurship and business. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Carolyn, would you mind introducing yourself to the group?
Hi, everyone. I'm Carolyn Hochstetter. I'm a lawyer focusing on business law in Philadelphia. I also teach legal aspects of entrepreneurship in the digital health space at Thomas Jefferson University. So I'm very excited to be here. I'm also relatively new to this Venture Capital Cafe team. I would say success for me within the program. I'm very excited to help contribute any sort of legal advice that I can to you all, sometime, and steer you in the right direction. So, and help you navigate whatever, legal / business bumps you might have. But again, try to catch it early on, as they say. And I'm looking forward to learning from everyone as well, learning about their startups and their journeys.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Carolyn.
I just wanted to call out a few folks have written in the chat what success looks like for them. Eamon Gallagher wrote that success to him is more startups starting in Philadelphia and growing to deliver products, obtain revenues, identify and hire talent, and raise capital. John Mercer had added that entrepreneurial success is getting a customer, getting something out into the world and letting people use it. Luke Butler wrote that success looks like the most vulnerable Philadelphians feel like they have access to knowledge and support to begin their entrepreneurial journeys.
Awesome. Love all of that. And definitely a few points I would love to come back to. Before that, Lynette, would you mind introducing yourself, please?
Sorry, I was multitasking. Lynette Moore, I'm the director of Quorum, so I work very closely with the Venture Cafe team, and success for me is helping the community. So getting information and help to all of our startups and entrepreneurs out there with the Venture Cafe programming and the programming we do through Quorum.
Awesome. Thanks a bunch, Lynette. I am also currently sitting in the Quorum drop-in lounge with a few of my good friends. So definitely we'll share more about that later on as well. Tracy, I almost called you Science Center.
Oh, I didn't realize I was signed in as Science Center. I guess I've been Science Center the whole time. I'm Tracy Barla. I'm Vice President of Ecosystem Development for the Science Center, but also Executive Director for Venture Cafe. So work very closely with Garry. I think I was on one of those earlier slides, and Emily and Angela and Natalie to craft the Thursday night programming. So for me, success looks like creating a program that happens every week that's meeting the needs of the entrepreneurs in our community, so that we can get them successful, but also kind of give them the tools that they need to help them kind of make their ideas become a reality.
Thank you, Tracy. Tanya, coming to you next.
Hello, everyone. Tanya Mars from Mom Your Business, and our mission is to support and help Black and Brown female founders to grow their business exponentially. We'll be launching our accelerator program this spring. And for me, I'm defining success really as a whole. If Black female founders are being successful, then I'm being successful. So that's what success looks like for me.
Awesome. Thank you, Tanya. Troy, you are up next.
Hey, everybody. Thanks, Garry. Troy Wilford. I run a boutique consulting agency where I help startup and early stage companies in the health tech space, achieve commercial milestones and gain traction. I certainly try to work by the motto and think, do, connect. And success for me is executing on those things in collaboration with a lot of the innovators and entrepreneurs in the Philadelphia area.
Awesome. Good.
We have a few more success definitions in the chat. One from Emily Sullivan. She said that success in her mind is bringing more corporate dollars and investments to the Philadelphia startup ecosystem, especially underrepresented founders to unearth the next big ideas that are always bubbling under the surface. Also, Matt Bone added, success to me is getting that next foot forward in whatever way that might be.
Sweet. Thank you all for sharing. All right, next up, we're going to Marcus.
Let me get the unmute. Howdy, I'm Marcus Smith. I actually moved to Philly right before all the pandemic stuff happened. So that's fun. And I'm here to get as connected into the fabric of the entrepreneurial ecosystem here as possible. Success for me is being a catalyst for collaborative entrepreneurship and ecosystem building in whatever way I can, in whatever location I can. So, for me, it's trying to do that here in the Philly area right now.
Awesome. Well, welcome, Marcus, and thank you for sharing as well. John Mercer. Hello, sir.
Hello, Garry. Good to be back at Venture Cafe, my first one of the year. And I'm from Startup Bucks, the executive director. We run a weekly event every Wednesday, 1 million Cups, Bucks County, and also have an accelerator fund called Bucks Built, So we try to bolster the startup ecosystem in and around Bucks County. So we definitely have a lot of Philly interaction too. But yeah, really success for me, I think in OnRamp would be just helping people start, just seeing more starts. And that start can mean just rather than trying to build the perfect website or the perfect product or get the perfect logo or the perfect business card, which you hopefully won't need anymore. But you don't need any of that to have a business. You just need a customer. So I think just helping people understand that, just having a user, getting something out there, and then iterating and figuring it out from there, rather than the thing I hate most is hearing a great idea, someone with a lot of passion on Venture Cafe or 1 Million Cups or anything, and then 3 months later you talk to them again and they're still working on that website and they don't have a user or customer. So yeah, really, I think just help getting people started as quickly as possible.
Sweet. Thank you, John. That is definitely something we want to help with. Next up, we're going to go to Aurora.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Aurora Archer, and I am the CEO of two endeavors. One, the Bellatrix Group, which is a marketing and strategy firm that helps clients solve sticky problems at the intersection of people and technology, and a lot of times health. The second endeavor I oversee is called the Opt-in, which is a culture shifting organization helping individuals one-on-one really address the racial identity.
Did we lose her?
With business and corporate clients. And success for me looks like more of us doing this, more of us creating an impact in the world per the gifts and talents that I believe we all have, and being able to leverage tools, information, access, networks, and sharing that amongst each other. And for me personally, it's also me not only being able to take some of that, but being accountable to being of service to this ecosystem as well here in Philadelphia.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. We're going to go to Pete next. And I will say that if anyone has their video off, I will not call on you. So don't feel like you have to turn your video off to like hide from sharing if you don't want to, but just letting you know.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Pete Fleming. I head up the product and UX design practice at a local software design and development consultancy called Chariot Solutions. I also happen to, with a partner, conduct a workshop at the 4 o'clock hour on this week's Venture Cafe. So that was a lot of fun. I see a lot of, recognize a lot of faces here. So that's great. Success for me. So as part of my history, I've done a little bit of advising and helped out some startups from here and there. I've done some volunteering with some with Compete 360, which brought design thinking and startup entrepreneurial thinking into underserved Philadelphia schools. So I've dabbled in a lot of that stuff. So success for me is just finding ways that I can help out and give back to the community, and where can I do some advising and bring some of my experience and skill set to bear and help out here. And I will say that I have a smaller secondary success criteria. And in the workshop we did before, we found out that Garry likes to sing to his plants. So if I could experience that, that might be that's a good success factor for me too.
Okay, so one of the items on our credo should definitely be what happens in the session stays in the session. Just kidding. No, everyone, yes, I love my
Sorry
house.
about that. Yeah.
It's all good. But no, that was a great session, and definitely, we're gonna figure out some ways to collaborate virtually using the resources that you shared. So thank you again. All right, Brittany, would you mind introducing yourself?
Hi, everybody. My name is Brittany Jenkins. I am the founder of We Are Tech, which is an ed tech startup that focuses on engaging students and communities of color with technology. What success looks like to me, it is creating community, fostering thought leadership, and making products or programs that help close the digital divide. For me personally, as an entrepreneur, success looks like having freedom to create freely and thoughtfully so that I can, really make an impact and have a responsibility, own up to the responsibility I pursue as an entrepreneur to fulfill, So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Brittany, and welcome.
How are you?
All right. Next up, George. Hello, how are you?
Hi, Gary. I'm a semi-retired software engineer. I do some consulting, both for pay and pro bono. I've been involved in a rather unusual startup called Good Network. I'll put it in the chat. Good, G-H-O-O-D. And they've had a rough time getting started because it's the goal of being a business doesn't quite align for them with the goal of doing social good. I was involved in the founding a year ago, but now that they got a grant, they were expecting, much more of a time commitment for me than I could moving into an operations phase. And the idea that they have is to provide an alternative, among other ideas, to provide an alternative to centralized big tech social media where people, whether they know it or not, they are the product, not the customer. And the idea is to have more decentralized local neighborhood groups that can communicate, share information. Oh, they're giving away free school supplies at Acme on Thursday, things like that. And in general, help each other as people to people. Try and make the tech be an enabler of community rather than something that is in the way. And also, along with what's the word, chat, messaging and so forth, the idea is also to have a ground source data, because so much of the data that is out there is woefully out of date. Like you look up daycare centers in this neighborhood, you'll find an ancient Excel spreadsheet from 3 years ago. So the idea is that if somebody is in that neighborhood knows there's a daycare here or after school program there at this time, that data can be entered into a crowdsourced database and also curated within the community. It's rather ambitious, but the idea is to start small in one neighborhood and try and grow it. Let me put the link in the chat and let somebody else talk.
Thanks, George. I really appreciate it. I'm sure John is willing to help you out with that. Next up, let's go to Alessandra.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alessandra Mullen, and I am a realtor with Allendon Real Estate, and I'm also a third-year law student at the Drexel University Thomas R. Klein School of Law. And this semester, I am a part of the Entrepreneurial Law Clinic under the direction of Mr. Gallagher. And I am excited to join this community to learn more about an eco space that I'm a little bit unfamiliar with, but I'm excited to learn a lot about it. And as a Philly born and raised here, I certainly want to see our community succeed. We all succeed when people are able to thrive with their own businesses. And success in general, to me, means achieving whatever kind of goal you set for yourself, whether it's big or small, and certainly if you are able to learn something along the way and enjoy it. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you and welcome. Mr. Gallagher is a good man. Carway, hello.
Hi, everyone. I am Carway. I am a marketing and strategy consultant by trade. I'm going to be very specific about my definition of success because I think everyone has said amazing things sort of about the community and the things that would make Philadelphia and the world a more successful place. So I'm going to be very specific on my personal definition of success, in particular around the OnRamp program, is finding someone with a technical expertise or a technical partner to help me get to a proof of concept of an idea that I've had percolating for the last several months. And so that's how I'm going to define success, is being able to either find that partner within the OnRamp community here at Venture Cafe, or learn how I can vet someone to be part of, the idea that's in my head.
Awesome. Sounds great. We would definitely love to help with that. I hope everyone is taking notes also. And you should all get ready because Carway is also an amazing presenter and source of knowledge. So plenty to learn from Carway. All right, so we got just a few more people I definitely want to make sure we hear from. Up next, Tom. How are you, sir?
Garry, I'm well. Good evening, everyone. Tom Webster here. I'm a program advisor with the Science Center's Launchland Accelerator. My definition of success is really continue to working with the Science Center and expanding all this programming to be really the leader in startup community here in the Philadelphia region. This region has a lot of potential and has the ability to be a thought leader around startup in the startup community here out of this marketplace, but also too, as I've seen in other places across the country where I've been an advisor and an investor, Philly has plenty of assets that we can leverage much more effectively. And the Science Center is definitely the institution to do it. So Garry, great job. Tracy and Aaron, good to see you both. And excited about, OnRamp. We've been talking about this for 12 months now. I'm excited to see it come to life.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, everybody.
I was talking about you the other day. I have to hit you up offline.
That's what OnRamp is for. Reconnections. All right. It's like a big happy family, big reunion. Emily, do we have more in the chat?
I was just gonna say, I like this combination of reconnecting, but also I've been seeing just new connections in the chat. I saw earlier we have two people who are both from Texas and are talking about barbecue. We got people trying to connect with Carway about technical stuff. So I can already see that this is a really awesome group of innovators, which is really wonderful to see. So
awesome, love it. Thank you, Emily. All right, just a few more people. Next up is, I think Kristin is next.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kristin Fitch. I am Director of Marketing at the Science Center. So I work with Garry and many other people on the line. So success to me in the context of OnRamp is for me to get a better understanding of the needs of first-time founders so that I can do my job better. For me, the success for OnRamp is that people see it as a valuable resource for first-time founders and that the entry to entrepreneurship seems more surmountable and accessible to everybody.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Kristin. All right. I think we just have three more people. Sorry. We're going to go to Charlie, and then we're going to go to John, and then Alexa.
All right. Hello, everyone. Hopefully my audio and video are not busticated at this point, but I want to try it anyway. I'm Charlie. I've kind of been around Venture Cafe for almost the beginning, I would say. Got my technology consulting business, technology in terms of computing, but also a little bit of electronics as well. Also, once again, a student, but that's another story. Success for me, it's kind of a two-pronged, approach to it. It's so first on like a personal level, like just being able to support oneself and be fulfilled in that arena, but also being able to inspire others, and kind of that teach a man to fish sort of a deal. Just be able to break down the barriers of whether it be entrepreneurship or just breaking into something where that they have like a passion to do something, and that there are a couple barriers that you can be able to help them out, and that's really what it's all about.
Awesome. Thank you, Charlie. Always great to see you. Okay. John, would you mind introducing yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is John Hall. I'm a social entrepreneur from the suburbs of Philadelphia, and I'm looking to build a platform in virtual STEM education. It could be focused on computer science training or nursing education or cellular biology using computational methods. But I would measure success if I could get people to understand what I'm talking about, because a lot of people don't understand, virtual data analytics. So I would be you creating a digital analytics platform to measure participation in each of these different pilots that I would be developing. So that's where I am. I'm trying to connect with the Science Center and see if there are any avenues for collaboration on a virtual level for STEM training.
Awesome. Thank you, John. Definitely got a few people that we know that you should probably connect with. All right. Last but certainly not least, we're going to go to Alexa. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Alexa. I'm on the commercialization team at the Science Center. I'm actually new as of the beginning of last week, so definitely excited to connect with more of you and learn more about the Philadelphia ecosystem. And also super excited that Garry has launched OnRamp. I think this will be a really important part to the Science Center, especially as it flows down the pipeline to the commercialization team as well. So we'll definitely help build out the ecosystem and the community for all of us. Success to me, I liked Alessandra's really simple definition of accomplishing the goals that you set. I'm very goal oriented, but overall, especially on the commercialization team, that really looks like enabling startups and companies to have an impact and accomplish their goals. So that's what success looks like for me.
Awesome. Thank you, Alexa, and welcome to the team again. Everybody, we're all about celebrating each other. My dog found a new toy, so we're all about celebrating one another's wins. So if you could drop a welcome and congratulations to Alexa in the chat, that would mean the world to us. And if anyone else has any, small wins, key wins, big wins that you want to share in the chat, definitely feel free to share those as well. All right, so we've got just a couple more minutes here. I'm going to share the last part of what I have, but again, this is really a scoping session to make sure that in the weeks ahead, we are designing programming that truly helps you all meet your goals. So the last question I have for you all, and maybe we can use the chat for this right now, but what questions do you need answered, right? Like what things are top of mind? What things are you maybe struggling with right now that we can take into consideration to make sure that we're inviting, the right guest speakers, making sure the topic of each week is relevant to your current needs. If you could drop that in the chat, then Emily, would you be able to help me sort of go through them? I'm gonna share my screen because I'm proud of the slide I had, but my mouse died. Turn the lo-fi music back on. Definitely, want you to think about it a little bit, right? Like, don't feel like you should just throw out anything. You all shared what your goals are, what success looks like for you. So what's sort of holding you back? And I take no credit for my background. That is the marketing team's work. They do fine work all around. And I'm incredibly grateful. If anything is not clear, please let me know. Ali would love to hear how people got comfy leaving big corporate. Okay. All right, Emily, are we ready to tackle these?
Yes. So right, as you saw, would love to hear people got comfortable leaving big corporate, how they knew the right venture to take the plunge, struggling with defining a customer archetype and making the right connections for the right reasons. Love to know more incorporation guidance and Pennsylvania specific employment law. Though I'm more of a service provider and support, I'm still an entrepreneur and think that mental and emotional wellness is an important topic for myself and other entrepreneurs I work with. How to select tools to help start, grow, and scale a company. Ways to find opportunities as a soft consultant on the side to get exposure to ideas and process of starting jobs.
Sweet. All right, we got plenty to work with.
Yeah, it looks like a nice combination of kind of those really tangible, tool building skills and, tools and laws. But then also on the flip side of that, mental health, confidence building as an entrepreneur. I would like to hear leaders talk about the beginning stages as an entrepreneur, more specifically, how do you balance work and building a company when you first start? That's a really good question. How to build, they're all good questions. How to build baseline leverage templates for financial tracking, as well as metrics, capture, monitoring, and insights.
Awesome.
Action-oriented workshops. How to know when to hire full-time versus 1099. I believe it's 1099. I think it's a tax form. I could learn more about that. Coming with something that you're working on, workshopping through that.
Awesome. Sweet. Well, thank you everyone for adding those in the chat. We are recording this session as well, which is going to be very helpful for me. But this has been really, really great. I want to make sure that we welcome our guests who are facilitating our really awesome panel discussion kicking off at 6 o'clock. So welcome, Brian. I'm not sure if any of our panelists are here, but the next discussion is going to be about the future of Philly tech startups. So we hope you all will stick around for that. But before we close out with things, I'm going to share one last slide. And that is, the best part of every pitch deck. So the ask, we have an ask, and that is for you all to continue to engage. You've already been super engaged today, so we really appreciate that. We ask that you contribute. So if it's not already in the chat, Emily, could you share our program, our session interest form or our proposal form? Our ask is that everyone check out the form. If you have ideas about ways that you can contribute to the community, please complete that form. Let us know what your ideas are. Let us know what your area of expertise is, whether you like to host a workshop, office hours, discussion. We are super creative, super flexible. So let us know how you'd like to contribute and we will get you involved. And then celebrate. So I already said this, but our community is the strongest when we celebrate all of our wins, whether they're big or small. So, we ask that whether it's on social media or here during our OnRamp sessions, during our Thursday gatherings, share what you're working on, share your big and small wins, retweet one another on Twitter. We just want to make sure that our community is as strong as possible. And, we're going to help each other succeed. So with that being said, Tracy or VCT members, anything you'd like to add before we close out?
Oh, you go, Tracy.
No, actually, I didn't have a lot to say, which is always surprising when that happens. But no, thank you very much for everyone's feedback. As Garry said a couple times, today was really meant just to make sure that we're listening to you and designing opportunities for you all to interact with each other that are going to be beneficial to learn and grow your business and ultimately help us set an objective as to what we're trying to achieve as well. So thanks for sharing.